What's up, guys? It's Alex Davis with Valor Insurance and Trusted Home Gurus. And right now we're just sitting in one of our studios at the office. And I wanted to come to you guys and just talk a minute about, being a business owner. There's a lot of difficult, and being a person in the United States, being a guy, being whatever, there's a lot of adversity we face on a daily basis. And something that I learned a long time ago about adversity is that it's always temporary. And so I just want to talk to you guys right now about responsibility and tackling adversity. There's a few traps we set ourselves up for, and one of those that I know for me that I've set myself up for failure a lot in is the justice trap. And what that means is that, thinking that there's a right way or a wrong way to do it. Well, at the end of the day, you may have your perception of how something should go or how something should flow, but you're not the other person you're working with, or you're not the other person in your deal, or, you're only you. So if you're trying to focus on controlling others' behavior and saying, that's not fair how they did that, or that's not right how those things were done, at the end of the day, you can't really control the other person. You just have to either accept what they're doing and continue to move forward, or you can detach yourself from them completely and decide to kind of step back and realign yourself to a different path. And that's what the beauty is of where we live and the country we live in and everything. We, on a daily basis, just have choices left and right to either cave into our emotion or cave into our thoughts that are, say, negative, or make the choice to say, I don't want to go that route today. I want to stay positive. I want to show love. I want to do something that I consider to be wise, or, something that I consider to take courage, or, something like that. So we have the option every day to choose how we're going to think. And that is where I would start with anyone that's looking to do any self-development. Start asking yourself, start questioning your own beliefs in your head. If you're in a situation over and over, let's say you're at work and every Wednesday this one thing happens and you notice that it throws you off or puts you in a bad mood, well, maybe you need to start changing how that day goes about that, or maybe just start going through that with a different mindset. Instead of saying this sucks, hey, this is an opportunity to get better. And normally what I find is, like, if our mind is telling us something, or if our brain is saying, like, hey, I'm uncomfortable, typically it's trying to teach you something about yourself. So if we could take a minute to just pause and sit in our uncomfortable feeling or our uncertainty and kind of lean into it, if we can lean into uncertainty, we can get an even clearer depiction or a clearer answer as to where we're going or where we're supposed to go. And so when it comes to responsibility, I heard a great definition of it recently, and it was our responsibility is our ability to respond. Each one of us has an ability to respond, a right to respond, and also, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, also it's mandatory that we respond. Like, we have to respond, or else life's just going to go on and we're just going to sit in our rooms in a bubble and not really have anything different about our lives. So our ability to respond is something that we're always in control of. So remember that if you're going through something with your spouse or a girlfriend, or if you're going through something with your children, you always have the ability to respond. And your response not only is showing what's inside of you, but it's also teaching others what they should know about you. It's teaching others how you operate. And it's teaching maybe people you're influencing or your children what's acceptable and not acceptable in this world. I am a parent, and if I just go home and yell at my kids over and over every day, well, eventually they're probably going to start yelling back. So it's my ability to respond in that scenario that will either help my kids to understand that yelling isn't something we do, or that yelling is the absolute norm in this household. So we all have the ability to respond to each circumstance and each thing we get into differently. And this responsibility is really just part of enjoying the process and trusting the process. And when I say process, I'm talking about when you go to work, when you go throughout your day, when you run your business, when you're operating your life, and you have discomfort and you have pain, and we have to adapt and grow with that pain or focus on it until it goes away. That's our ability to respond. And when we go from, victim, circumstance mindset to, like, I don't like all these things around me, to what can I do to change these? What can I do to deserve the goals that I'm actually striving for? When we get there, that's when we're trusting the process. That's when we're allowing life and God to mold us and to take us where we need to go. So guys, just think on that. Responsibility is something that's really been on my mind lately, and I look forward to growing with each of you.